Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, Sonic Love. So in today's video we're going to be checking out the Powkiddy RGB20SX. Now the RGB30, I've relentlessly done videos on the RGB30 as one of my favourite handhelds with a 1:1 screen aspect ratio, 720p screen. Now we have the DMG style version, and it will be great just to check it out and see how it compares with the RGB30 and whether this will be a choice for you. I'd just like to quickly shout out a mention to LITNXT for sending this over. There is no money been exchanged. It is my own thoughts and process of my video. And yeah, they've not seen the video in advance, so I'm really excited about this one. I will leave links in the description with a discount code, so if you want to pick this up, that you'll be able to get it at a rock bottom price, and also have a fantastic service from LITNXT with ultra fast shipping. I think the unit took 8 days to reach me from China to the UK. So without further ado, let's go with the unboxing and first impressions. I will leave some specs here just so you can check out what's under the hood with this bad boy. But I think firstly, I'd just like to say that Powkiddy have done a good job on the box. It's very decorative, it looks quite nice. I like the verses at the top. Apart from that, it is pretty standard. On the side, you will see that I went with the transparent blue. Seems to be the theme. Opening the box, I think we're just going to have our usual standard packaging. We do have a 128 SD card. On the website of LITNXT, you can have the option of a 256. Full of ROMs, full of goodies, all that jazz. We have a Games Machine service card, which is pretty cool, with some information on there. We have our usual phone protector, and then as always it comes in a baggie, if we can get it out. And we have our usual underneath, our charging cable and so forth. So let's check this out. Again, I'm really liking the materials that they're using at the moment, Powkiddy. I think the plastic feels really nice and smooth, but not to the point where it'll make your hands sweat. We have our usual D-pad. It does feel exactly the same as the Max 30, so if it is, then that will be pretty cool. We have a single front firing speaker. We have start select with a little smiley face and a function button. But if it doesn't work, then you could probably program it through RetroArch. We have ABXY. The buttons feel quite nice, actually, to be honest. Nice and chunky, very responsive and spongy. We have our usual switch style analog sticks, not the best, probably not whole sticks either. We have a DC 3.5mm headphone jack and also OTG. On the side we have SD card slot. It says TF2 game in writing. I don't know if that's coming across. We have a reset button and also our power button. On the top of the unit we have a HDMI, mini HDMI should I say, and then we have lovely triggers on the back which are protruding out quite a fair bit. I don't know if you can see that. They are in line with the plastic, but the actual plastic protrudes out a little bit. I'm not really bothered. It doesn't really bother me. The main important thing is that when you have it in your hand, does it feel comfortable? So they are quite clicky, quite loud, It does rattle a little bit, but not too excessive. On the right hand side we have our volume and also our TF1 slot for the OS. So it does state where the OS goes and it does state where the game ROMs go. So that's pretty cool. I kind of like that. But overall, I think the first impressions is really nice of it. The plastic feels really robust. It does feel very, very premium and solid, which is always nice. We do have the 1:1 aspect ratio, which I don't know if you are aware, I am a massive, huge fan. The RGB30, the Cube, the Unicorn, all these handhelds have the 1:1 screen, and a lot of you guys also think that it's a cool screen. Love to know in the comments what you think. Are you a massive fan of the 1:1 display, or do you like the 4-inch 4x3? I'd like to know, because I'm a massive fan of the 1:1. You can always stretch it a little bit either way for 16:9 games. 3x2 games with Game Boy Advance, you can also stretch it just that little bit. And then for the rest of the systems, as long as you do 8x7, it just looks absolutely incredible on here, especially with the 720p display. But overall, my first impressions that, yeah, it feels really, really comfortable. And that's a big plus in my eyes, especially for long periods of time. I'm a massive fan of the DMG style Game Boy, and to have my favourite screen in this is quite unique actually. Really, really like it. Let's get into what this can do. Let's see what OS is on here, and let's check it out. Again, it does come with JELL OS. It just seems to be a running OS system that Powkiddy are putting on their units. The good thing about it is with this chipset, that obviously there is lots of custom firmwares that you can try out, which is also good. Let me know in the comments if it's something that you would like to see. Would you like me to run through the different OS systems and maybe some tutorial videos on these units themselves? Then let me know in the comments. One thing that I will say is this is the same screen as the RGB30, and if you know what that is, it's the 1:1 aspect ratio with an absolute gorgeous resolution of 720 by 720, and it just looks absolutely gorgeous. I'll try and zoom in, but it's really good. So let's run through the systems and see how many games you get on the... So all games, 20,000 games, which is not bad at all. So let's just jump into the systems. So we've got 2,000 with arcade. Remember, if you order with the link in the description from the amazing guys at LITNXT, you will get exactly what I get here. So yeah, it looks like we have virtually every single arcade system, which is pretty cool. System 1, 2 and 3, looks like it's a full catalogue. Dreamcast, 17 games, 5,600. Wow, what's going on there? On the bin, Neo, 96. Game Boy, nearly 500. Game Boy Advance, 1,081. Game Boy Color, Game Gear, Genesis, MAME, Master System, Mega Drive, MSX, MSX2, Neo Geo, Pocket Color. Nintendo 64's got 187 games, that's pretty wild. Nintendo DS, that's a good catalogue, 248. I bet you there's some absolute bangers in there. On the 1:1 screen, it does look great. Again, with JELL OS, it really is quite easy to manage. It's quite user-friendly. If you press start, we have game settings. If we go into game settings, you can change your aspect ratio, add your filters and shaders if you wish. System settings, we have brightness. I've got it on 2. It's pretty bright. It does get incredibly bright and incredibly dim, which is good. For the purposes of the video, I will keep it down low. Gamma contrast, hue, and a good little tip that somebody showed me in the comments is I was a bit annoyed with the LED, but you can change the LED off, so that was pretty good. You can update, so it's pretty straightforward really. If you hook it up to the internet, you can then scrape your games, the themes. We have 4. Let's quickly just run through these. Not bad. Pretty standard really. This one is actually one of my favorites, so I might leave it on that. Let's check out the last couple. This is the one that was on by default, so let's leave it on here. So let's see how many PlayStation games: 74, PS Engine 356, Master System 32X, Famicom, Super Nintendo. So there is a lot of games on here, guys, which is pretty cool. So yeah, the screen is absolutely amazing. We'll check out the sound now to see how it sounds with a mono speaker. So let's just go into a game. Let's choose an arcade game. It's got to be Afterburner 2. Actually, it doesn't sound too bad. So hopefully that's coming across of just how nice that screen looks. Again, you can change the hue, saturation, gamma and contrast, but it looks absolutely amazing, and with the resolution it just makes the pixels really pop. I don't know if it's coming across, but it's so sharp and just makes all retro games look absolutely incredible on here. Performance on arcade is good and looks and plays amazing. Let's move on. Let's check out a fighting game to see how the D-pad is. D-pad's really good and responsive. So this is with the 8x7, and as you can see, it makes really good use of the one-to-one screen. Tiny little borders on the top and bottom, but still retaining a good enough aspect ratio to fill out the majority of the screen and also look absolutely fantastic in the process. So you'll have no issues with Super Nintendo. So for Game Boy Advance is where it gets a little bit tricky because of the 3.2 aspect ratio. As you can see now, I've literally stretched it just a little bit, so there is quite a big border at the bottom and still quite a big border at the top, but then it's a little bit stretched taller just so you can utilize it, and it still retains a good enough aspect ratio and also doesn't make it look like it is a letterbox effect. Gonna play one of my all-time favorite games, Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire. So as you can see, it still looks really nice. It doesn't look deformed or out of place. Get me a Pikachu, come on. Or get me an egg so I can catch a Pokemon. I still haven't got the starters on this yet. I know there's a few mods you can get extra Pokemon, but I can sink hours into this game, guys. And I'd say it looks and plays fantastic. If you've not played it already, I highly and strongly recommend that you do. So yes, even with a 1:1 aspect ratio, you're still able to play Game Boy Advance and still have it looking fairly decent and looks beautiful with this display. Same with N64, so any of the 4x3, 8x7 is the way to go on this unit. DS on this unit is also fantastic as long as you are into having both screens. On the display itself, you can have top and bottom, which really does make it like a traditional Nintendo DS experience. You still have the ability to swap out to single screens and also swap them over. But if you do want to have that natural effect of the Nintendo DS, this is probably one of the best ways that you can do it on this type of 1:1 aspect ratio because of the length of the screen, or should I say the height of the screen. And if you haven't played this, guys, this is one of my favourite Pokemon games on the DS, which is Pokemon Conquest, which is a, I don't know, maybe a Final Fantasy style tactics game, but with Pokemon, which is pretty amazing. But it also has loads of other elements like takeover cities, hiring people, oh yeah, getting soldiers to work for you to do raids. It's the amount of depth in this game is phenomenal. PSP is another system that is not the best for this type of one-to-one display. But again, you can go into the settings and just stretch it just a little bit taller, just so you have a little bit more room, still having borders on top and bottom, but nowhere near as offensive as what it will be as 16:9. This is 2x resolution. Looks fantastic on this display. My terrible gameplay through the camera, but I always forget, if you hold onto the speed button, or the fire button should I say, as you slow down, but if you let go then you have ultra speed. So you can still have a good time with PSP. This is by far the most amazing experience that you will have with a one-to-one display, is systems with the similar aspect ratio. This is Game Boy with Zelda, and it just looks incredible. Probably on the RGB30 I've played all the similar one-to-one aspect ratio games on there. I keep going back to it all the time. Now I have this, I think I'll be using this a little bit more. I kind of like this one more over the RGB30, but that'll be personal preference. Some might like the fact that you have the horizontal display with the controls, where personally I'm all about the DMG style. But yeah, it looks absolutely incredible. Plays amazing and looks amazing, especially with the resolution of the screen. Just can't beat it. Likewise with Game Boy Color, just looks absolutely incredible. It just turns this into an absolute Game Boy powerhouse. But not only that, but you can also play systems of similar aspect ratio and makes it look amazing, like the Game Gear. Absolutely looks incredible. It really does make the experience so much better. You gotta love James Pond. The Game Gear version is amazing. Probably one of my favourites. Other system is Neo Geo Pocket Color, or Neo Geo Pocket itself. Looks amazing. One of my favourite games, and I can sink hundreds of hours into this game, guys, which is Card Fighters Clash SNK versus Capcom. It really is such a great rival card game. I absolutely love it. If you've not played it, then I seriously get you to check it out because it is awesome. If you've played it and you love it, let me know it in the comments. So I'm going to leave this here as a first look and impression. I would just like to say again, thank you to LITNXT for sending this over. I absolutely so glad they did. The experience has been really good with them, and yeah, I can highly recommend getting a unit from them themselves. Fast delivery, really good communications, and I'm happy with how it arrived. Yeah, so if you want to help me out, help the channel out, then show your appreciation to LITNXT and get one from them. I would really appreciate that, and I think they would too. And also they'll send me some lovely goodies to showcase to you guys as well. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. A like would be fantastic, a share would be even better. Subscribe for more retro handheld goodness, and as always, take care.